Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 10 signs the family Chantel should return in the future. Can the show be revamped without Pedro Jimena? The family Chantel is one of the most popular 90-Day Fiancé franchise spin-offs of all time, but without the couple at the center, could the show find a way to be revamped for an exciting return? A fixture of the 90-Day Fiancé franchise, Chantel, Everett, and Pedro Jimena were one of the most exciting couples that the series ever followed. Chantel, a 20-something from Atlanta, Georgia, found love with Pedro, her Spanish tutor who was living in his native Dominican Republic. Pedro and Chantel's love story was a whirlwind, and the pair got engaged quickly after meeting. While Chantel and Pedro's relationship was quick to form, things took a while to settle into a regular rhythm once the pair got engaged and Pedro moved to the US. Though both Pedro and Chantel were close to their families, they didn't share much about their relationship initially, which caused some serious issues. Chantel didn't tell her family that Pedro was moving to the US or that the pair had gotten engaged, which was a difficult hurdle for the couple to overcome when they needed the support of the Everetts in the long term. As the couple were documented through their engagement and the aftermath on 90-Day Fiancé, viewers began to find Pedro and Chantel the most captivating couple. While both did seem to be in love, there were some cracks in the foundation for the couple quickly after they came back to the US. Though they had their fair share of issues, Pedro and Chantel got married and earned their own 90-day spin-off, The Family Chantel. Going more in depth with the issues that Chantel faced bringing Pedro into her family of origin, the spin-off was a quick hit for the network. As The Family Chantel got through its first seasons, viewers got to know Chantel's family. Bringing her mother and father, Karen Everett and Thomas Everett, into the forefront, Chantel and Pedro did their best to deal with the wedge that her family was trying to drive between them. At the same time, Pedro's mother, Lydia Morel, and sister, Nicole Jimena, were struggling with his relationship with Chantel as well. Though viewers didn't like the family interference with Chantel and Pedro's relationship, they enjoyed the drama of the series. Throughout the run of The Family Chantel, it was clear that Chantel and Pedro struggled with issues outside of their family's disdain for their relationship that put even more strain on their relationship. While many were rooting for the pair, it became clear that Pedro's investment in the marriage wasn't the same as Chantel's, which clearly hurt her considerably. Though Chantel and Pedro have divorced, many are still missing the family Chantel and feel it needs to return in a new capacity. Chantel Everett remains a key figure in the 90-Day Fiancé family, keeping viewers interested long after the family Chantel's end. While her tumultuous relationship with Pedro and the drama surrounding her family captivated viewers, Chantel's real gift on the series was encouraging viewers to watch and keeping them engaged in her life. Chantel became a reality TV staple, especially for those who keep up with the 90-Day franchise. Even after The Family Chantel came to its climactic end, viewers continued to follow her life through social media, curious about her post-divorce journey. Chantel's charismatic personality and penchant for emotional vulnerability have kept her in viewers' minds, even if she hasn't been as present since the show ended. Her unresolved storylines, from new romances to family dynamics, have viewers speculating about what's next for the Family Chantel star and hopeful she'll return to reality TV. Although Pedro was one of the most polarizing parts of The Family Chantel, his time on the series wasn't something that viewers were able to look away from. Pedro, who immigrated to the US in order to be with Chantel, had a bit of culture shock coming from the Dominican Republic and landing in Atlanta. Even so, his life was changing in every way, so the surprise didn't necessarily hit as hard. After The Family Chantel, Pedro was going through a whole different sort of change. Now, as a single man for the first time in his life living in the US, Pedro's choices likely look a lot different than they did when he was married. Viewers have been interested in learning more about what's happening with Pedro after the divorce, especially with his newly single life in the US giving him entirely different opportunities and struggles. Pedro's sister, Nicole, has been one of the most controversial figures on the family Chantel throughout its run. Though she's been able to stir up drama on and off screen for years, she was most well known for the feuds she got into with Chantel and her family during their time on the series. While her comments weren't always kind or well thought out, Nicole was able to defend her actions in nearly every situation, which made her dangerous to deal with. While some enjoyed watching Nicole and the drama she stirred up, others felt that it was difficult to watch her come for her sister-in-law without Pedro really coming to Chantel's defense. As a polarizing figure on the series, viewers would be interested in seeing more from Nicole if the show were to return. Even with the backlash against her more consistent than with other The Family Chantel stars, Nicole would be great to see on the series if it were to make a comeback because of the dramatic flair she could add to any story. Although Lydia was portrayed as a manipulative villain on The Family Chantel, viewers could find a new side of her if the series was to make a comeback. Lydia's harsh outer layer wasn't necessarily the core of who she is, especially because the majority of the drama she started or contributed to had to do with Chantel and Pedro's relationship. Though her son's marriage to Chantel wasn't something she approved of, it became clear as the series went on that she wanted what she felt was best for Pedro, even to a fault. Lydia's role on The Family Chantel was complicated, because she virtually knew that she would come off as a villain to viewers, but didn't care and continued to push her son to get away from his marriage. Though she was a source of constant drama, Lydia's consistency was something that The Family Chantel viewers came to rely on and expect, even if they weren't happy about it. If The Family Chantel were to return, viewers could get the chance to see Lydia in a whole new light. Although the 90-Day Fiancé franchise has quite a few shows at any given moment, there aren't currently any quality spin-offs that follow a couple who got their start on the series. With some of the more famous 90-day couples having moved away from the franchise, The Family Chantel was one of the few spin-offs that viewers flocked to and enjoyed more than the original series. While there were reasons beyond control that ended The Family Chantel, viewers are still craving a spin-off to attach themselves to. While The Family Chantel couldn't come back in the same capacity it was at before, it could very much change its DNA and return in a new form. With Chantel and Pedro living separate lives, the series could branch off and show both sides of the former couple. Viewers would be thrilled to see the spin-off come back. While The Family Chantel viewers can't stand Pedro in a lot of ways, watching him is sometimes the best way to feel their feelings about him. Pedro has become a far more consistent online figure than he was while he was on the show, moving to Instagram in order to promote himself and his business. While Pedro hasn't necessarily been getting praised for his behavior online, he's been noticed by the majority of The Family Chantel fans. Though he's using his online following for clout, Pedro has been prevalent on Instagram and working hard to ensure that he's still gaining traction on his posts. Creating sometimes cringe-worthy content, Pedro has been doing a decent job at staying relevant even though The Family Chantel has come to an end. If the show were to revamp itself, Pedro would be able to share the news with this following, hopefully pulling in new viewers. While 90-Day Fiancé viewers haven't enjoyed Pedro, they've been fans of Chantel since the very beginning. Chantel was one of the reasons that she and Pedro's relationship was even featured on the series, as she is a charismatic woman with a relatable personality. Chantel has been keeping her personal brand similar to what it was during her time on The Family Chantel, ensuring that her online presence hasn't changed and viewers are still familiar with who she is at her core. Despite having dealt with some issues during her time on the show, Chantel has been keeping herself relevant and ensuring her following knows who she is after the family Chantel. Instead of dragging Pedro or creating cringe-worthy content, she's been doing what she did all along, keeping calm and continuing to share herself with the franchise. Chantel would continue to rise in popularity if the show were to return. Although Chantel and Pedro would have to agree to the exploration of their financial situations, they've become a point of interest for the family Chantel viewers over the years. After the couple's split, their finances became even more interesting to those who watched the show. While Chantel was working throughout their time on the series and Pedro was pursuing his real estate career, their financial independence never seemed to be achievable. While things were difficult during their marriage, it's likely their financial situation both together and separately has changed post-divorce. With Chantel likely facing challenges as she tries to balance her new single life with her career, she's always having to deal with the fact that her marriage to Pedro was costly. Meanwhile, Pedro's real estate venture has been a dramatic, expensive issue outside of the family Chantel. Their new financial situations would be of interest to fans. Although Pedro's relationship status is unclear, Chantel is still single and seems to be ready to finally move on after the family Chantel and her marriage to Pedro. The end of her relationship was difficult on Chantel, and many felt that she wasn't actually over her ex-husband until very recently. The divorce took a toll on both Chantel and Pedro, but it hit Chantel particularly hard after the dust settled. Now, with time and space between her and the divorce, Chantel seems to be ready to get back into the dating scene. The family Chantel would be able to explore her time as a single woman, documenting dates or relationships as she moves through new situations in hopes she'll find something better than she did before. While some may not agree with the shift, seeing Chantel play the field could be fun. Along with Chantel's dating life, the series would be able to get some new storylines that bring the families together while keeping them isolated. Both Chantel and Pedro would have different sides of the series to be the lead of, and while there would probably be moments where their paths would converge, it seems likely that they wouldn't want to work with one another in the new iteration of the series. Even so, the pair would be able to work alongside each other without actually interacting. The family Chantel's potential revamp would focus on far more than Pedro and Chantel, especially considering their marriage has ended. Instead, the revamped series would be able to keep Chantel and Pedro's families sharing more about their lives, bringing them into the fold and giving them stories of their own. A newly revamped version of the family Chantel could be a major success for the network. 10 signs the family Chantel should return in the future. Can the show be revamped without Pedro Jimena? The hit reality TV show The Family Chantel, which initially revolved around the drama between Chantel Everett and Pedro Jimena, captivated audiences with its blend of familial conflict, romance, and shocking plot twists. Since its debut in 2019, the show has been a staple of TLC's reality programming, particularly for fans of the 90-Day Fiancé franchise. But with Pedro and Chantel's relationship now fractured, many wonder, can the family Chantel continue without its central couple? Should it even return? Here are 10 compelling signs that the show should make a comeback, and whether it can survive without Pedro Jimena. 1. The show's legacy and cult following. Even though the focal point of the series, Pedro and Chantel's marriage, has crumbled, the show's legacy remains strong. It's no secret that the family Chantel has a dedicated fan base. Viewers became emotionally invested in Chantel's family dynamics, her sibling relationships, and her personal growth. From Chantel's fierce, protective mother, Karen, to her outspoken siblings, the show built a unique family-oriented brand that resonated with audiences. Revamping the show with a fresh focus on Chantel's family could be just the right formula to keep it relevant. 2. Karen Everett's dynamic personality. One of the standout stars of the show has been Chantel's mother, Karen Everett. With her no-nonsense attitude, sharp wit, and larger-than-life persona, Karen became a fan favorite. She was unapologetically fierce when it came to defending her daughter and had viewers on the edge of their seats during her many confrontations with Pedro's family. Even without Pedro, Karen's charisma and her ability to stir up drama could easily carry the show, offering a new layer of content. The family dynamics are still complex, and Karen is more than capable of holding her own in a revamped version of the show. 3. The siblings' storylines are untapped gold. Chantel's siblings, especially River and Winter, have shown great potential as individual characters in their own right. River, with his laid-back demeanor and occasional sass, and Winter, whose weight loss journey and personal growth captured the hearts of viewers, each have compelling storylines that could be explored more deeply. With their own unique personalities, the show could take on a fresh direction by focusing on their lives outside of Chantel's relationship struggles, offering new kinds of drama, humor, and relatability. 4. The drama between Pedro's family and the Everetts. Despite Chantel and Pedro's separation, the tension between their two families is far from over. Pedro's mother, Lydia, and his sister, Nicole, remain key figures in the family drama. While Pedro might not be at the center of it all anymore, his family's unresolved issues with the Everetts still provide ample room for conflict and tension. A fresh angle could be to explore how both families navigate their ongoing tensions and how their relationships evolve in the aftermath of Pedro and Chantel's breakup. The audience would likely still tune in to watch the explosive dynamics between these two families. 5. Chantel's personal growth and empowerment. Chantel has always been a character viewers love to root for. From her early days of trying to make her marriage work to her evolving sense of independence, Chantel's growth has been one of the show's major arcs. Now that she is moving on from her marriage to Pedro, fans would be eager to watch her take on new challenges, whether in her career, her personal life, or with her family. By focusing on Chantel's journey to self-empowerment, the show could appeal to viewers who enjoy seeing a strong, independent woman overcome adversity. 6. The intrigue of Pedro's absence. While Pedro Jimenez's absence might seem like a challenge, it could actually work in the show's favor. The curiosity surrounding his whereabouts, life after the divorce, and the ripple effect his absence has on the rest of the family could be an interesting plot thread. Perhaps viewers would enjoy watching how the Everetts navigate their post-Pedro world. Additionally, viewers might want to know if Pedro's absence opens the door for other love interests or if the family finds new ways to cope and thrive. 7. The Everetts' growing influence. Chantel's family has become the show's heart and soul. The parents, Karen and Thomas, along with the siblings, have personalities strong enough to stand on their own without relying on Chantel's marital drama. This gives the show the opportunity to explore new and exciting dimensions of the Everett family. Whether they're tackling new relationships, career challenges, or dealing with health issues, their diverse lives offer plenty of material to keep the audience engaged. 8. The potential for new romantic entanglements. A revamped version of the show could delve into the romantic lives of Chantel's siblings or even Chantel herself. With Pedro out of the picture, viewers would be intrigued by who might enter Chantel's life next. Will she find love again, or will she focus entirely on herself? Similarly, Winter, River, and even Karen could have their own romantic arcs to explore. The drama, excitement, and emotions of new love interests could create fresh, engaging content for fans. 9. The opportunity to address real-world issues. One aspect that made the family Chantel so captivating was its ability to touch on real-world issues like cultural differences, family loyalty, and even immigration struggles. Without focusing solely on the Pedro-Chantel dynamic, the show could pivot to address these topics from a broader perspective, delving deeper into the challenges the Everett family faces and how they navigate life in an increasingly diverse world. The addition of more diverse perspectives, particularly from the family members themselves, would add layers of complexity and interest to the show. 10. Fan demand for more drama and closure. Let's face it, the family Chantel thrives on drama. Fans of the show are constantly eager for more, whether it's from Chantel's family or the continued fallout from her relationship with Pedro. Though some may have felt that the storyline reached its peak, there's still so much unfinished business. With the potential for more dramatic confrontations, unresolved issues, and emotional breakthroughs, there's no shortage of reasons for the show to return. Plus, many viewers are clamoring for closure, wondering how Pedro and Chantel's families will navigate their lives moving forward. Can the show survive without Pedro? It's clear that the family Chantel could thrive even without Pedro Jimena at its heart. While Pedro played a significant role, the Everett family and their ongoing struggles remain a central part of the show's appeal. With new directions to explore, such as the Everett's relationships, individual personal journeys, and family feuds, the series can definitely be retooled to work without its former lead. The focus can shift from the turmoil of Chantel and Pedro's marriage to the unique dynamics of the Everett family and the evolution of their lives post-Pedro. In conclusion, the family Chantel should absolutely return, even if the show evolves without Pedro Jimena. There are plenty of new storylines to explore, both with the Everetts and their interactions with Pedro's family. As long as the drama, emotional investment, and family dynamics remain at the forefront, fans will continue to tune in to watch what happens next. The potential for growth and change in the family's lives means that the show can remain just as captivating, if not more so, than ever before.